And welcome back to our weekly broadcast where we keep you up to date on all the latest news from around the NHL. I'm Sean Snipacelli, and with me, as always, is Doug DeGolhorn. Doug, I understand you've made up a couple of names for our little show. Do you want to go ahead and share them? Okay, you're going to love this. Doug and the Bikini Girls. We just need some girls in bikinis. Not so sure that's in the budget, Doug. Anything else? Wait, how about Doug This? It's like dig this, but Doug, instead it has my name in it, so it's like clever. But it still feels like it's missing something. What else you got? Okay. Got it. Big Doug. XXX. What are the X's for? I don't know. Like all my favorite films have XXX on the title, so it must mean it's like cool or something. Right you are, Doug. And for our first story of the night, a team that has become a bit of a fan favorite to bring up around here, the San Jose Sharks, have now allowed 10 goals to their opponents in back-to-back games, becoming the first team to perform such a feat since the 1965 Boston Bruins. Man, that team stinks. Sure does, Doug. And they are now just one loss away from becoming the first team in NHL history to lose every single one of their first 12 games. After their latest loss, GM Mike Grier reportedly had a meeting with the players. When asked about what the subject of that meeting was, Grier had this to say, and I quote, "There are certain things I won't tolerate, and some of that stuff has been happening, and I let them know that." Is one of those things losing by 8 goals? I'd assume so. Okay. Is one of those things losing by 9 goals? That's a safe bet too, Doug. Is another one of those things allowing 20 goals in 2 games? What are you getting at, Doug? I want to be an NHL GM someday, so I'm trying to learn from Mike Grier. Well, I mean this with all sincerity. I think you might be a bit underqualified for a position like that. You don't think I can be the next Mike Grier? I take it back. You could absolutely be the next Mike Grier. You're a good friend. We're not friends, Doug. And now we move on to a bit of a goofy story on the week, but before I tell you what it is, I need to turn to my partner Doug and tell him this is a professional broadcast, and this broadcast will be canceled if we do not keep our comments PG. Do you understand? Yeah, okay. Great. Saturday night, Austin Matthews recorded his 3rd hat trick of the season, and one young lady in the stands decided to throw her bra as part of the celebration. Unfortunately, we were unable to find this fanatic before she had left the arena. What are your thoughts on that, Doug? I wonder if she poked anyone's eyes out with her rock-hard nips like javelins on the front of a bicycle. I don't know what PG means. I don't know what I expected. Speaking of underperforming Canadian teams, the Ottawa Senators now find themselves last in the Atlantic Division, in which it seems that no one's taking it very well. After a recent loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning, the coach and the captain had something to say to media. We'll start with Coach DJ Smith when asked about the fans booing them off of their home ice. Here was his response.
Often the crowd boos you on the way out. What's your message to the fan base right now?
It's about the players. It's not about me. And we're doing our best.
Oh, he has that super wrong. Why do you say that, Doug? Because I was there, and I was booing specifically him. Well, let's see if the team captain handled the question a little better. Let's! Just play the clip.
It's frustrating, the negativity from the outside. It's the constant booing and kind of from the crowd too tonight was, I understand that they're a passionate fan base. I understand, I love it, but I mean, when you face adversity, you don't turn your back on the guys out there. I mean, we're playing hard. I know it's frustrating right now, but it's not like we're giving up out there. We're fighting to the very end. So, to be honest with you, it's I was very frustrated tonight.
What do you think, Doug? Should fans feel bad about booing their team if their team captain says that they were trying really hard? How much was it to go to the game? I believe the average ticket was for a little over 120 American dollars. I would have shot someone. That seems a little harsh, Doug. Bet they wouldn't be complaining about the booing. Right you are, Doug. And in other news, we do have more suspensions to speak of, as Calgary Flames player Andrew Mangiapane has been suspended for this play. Unfortunately, there's no wheel to spin this time, as the Department of Player Safety has already issued a one-game suspension for Mangiapane. One game? How is that not on the same level of those McAvoy or Anderson hits? Well, you see, Doug, they used their hard hands and shoulders for their infractions, whereas Mangiapane just used his soft stick. I hear a lot of player safety guys have that problem. Right you are, Doug. And for our next story, we are going to continue this bad vibes heavy episode as we speak about the Blackhawks and their recent struggles against far better competition. They've decided that they have had enough and something had to be done. Steroids? No, Doug. The Blackhawks players, after a recent loss, have decided to have a players-only meeting where they had what they referred to as a heart-to-heart. Now, of course, the players would not speak about what the subject of this meeting was, but luckily, a local orphan had been living in the arena in a completely empty room labeled non-controversial trophy room. He had pressed his ear to the wall of the locker room so he could hear what was going on. And he said the meeting actually matched a very popular scene from a hit Canadian drama called Shoresy. This is the scene he's referring to.
Tendy!
Shoresy.
You're the worst player on our team. Great in the room, but you're the worst player on our team. And your mom's a fucking dog.
Wow. Surprised they were that gentle. Indeed. And to finish off this episode, we received questions from you loyal listeners that we would like to answer. The first one comes from a Mr. Trot, and it's directed at you, Doug. Mr. Trot asks, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? And why is it clean zone entries? What the hell is he talking about? My favorite Thanksgiving side dish is the Dugginator. I think you'll need to elaborate on that, Doug. Sure. It's like a pie, but the inside is loaded mashed potatoes, homemade mac and cheese, turkey, and you wash it all down with a liquid Dugginator. A liquid Dugginator? It's just like a shit ton of vodka. Starting to think you might not be great at naming things. Well, that's hurtful. Right you are, Doug. Our next question comes from Gordon Zombie, who asks, seems the Blackhawks scandal continues, in reference to another player coming forward and accusing them of unsavory actions. Will they be punished with having to draft Macklin Celebrini? Will they be punished by receiving Ottawa's first-round pick? Debate. Those don't seem like punishments. I think that's the point, Doug. And a damn good one at that. I don't get it. Well, maybe you'll have better luck with this next question from Robbie. Robbie asks, what should San Jose do to stop embarrassing themselves and start being competitive? Well, playing a little defense wouldn't hurt. 20 goals in 2 games, not great. An astute point, Doug. Anything else? Scoring a little bit would help. More insightful knowledge. But I think the listener is asking, what would you do to fix their problems? Oh, sure. I'd burn the arena down, end our season, and defraud the insurance company. Right. Well, just a quick reminder that your court-mandated parole officer is in the back watching us live. Hey, Jerry. Oh, what's up, Jerry? Dude's a total narc. Right you are, Doug. And our last question of the night, Pasta Party, safe to say that he's a Bruins fan, asks, do you think they should have traded Ullmark in the offseason and ran this season with Swayman and Bussy? You know, I think Bruins fans actually take for granted what it means to be able to run 2 great goaltenders in their primes at an elite level. They'll always be fresh for their starts, and injury doesn't derail their entire season. And although it does seem like an easy way to fix a lack of scoring depth, there are implicit risks to moving a goaltender in their prime when they're playing at this kind of level. Oftentimes, you have to look at the whole picture, especially when those 2 goaltenders being fresh and ready are one of the, if not the largest reasons that they get to play competitively throughout the entire year and don't have the struggles that some of these other teams have, where the team in front of them may be solid, but the net minding continuously lets them down. That leads to a season that is frustrating and can derail an entire rebuild or even the prime of a core. Wow, that's That's a great point, Doug. What's a great point? What you just said. What did I say? I swear, it's like you have multiple personalities sometimes. Well, that does it for us. If you have questions for myself or Doug, feel free to put them below, and maybe you'll see your question answered on next week's episode. But for now, and as always, from our team to yours, have a great night. And a huge thank you to those of you who have joined the membership program. Our top line tier members, Darren Woodbury, Micro Sausage, Breathe In, Breathe Out, Brett Arney, Pincent, Justin Barnard, Nick Zatrullo. And a massive thank you to the all-star tier members, Thupton D. Tashi, Jonathan Harvey, the Spoked Brown Tiger, D.A. Kingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your support, and go Bees.